picture over there so I could be fashionably on time as well.
Yeah, man. Okay. Oh, yeah, they're coming in today. What's going on, man? How you doing?
John, welcome in.
Mr. G Man. Yeah, so welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of CMCT. Change your mind, change your thinking. Hey, Joan, I am your host, Troy Skinner. Next to me is my co-host, the man with the most, the man that can stand above anything and everything.
Antonio Dean.
Antonio Dean, that smile, man. It can ship it can launch 1,000 ships, you know. No doubt.
It's a little expensive, this smile.
Yeah. But they getting it though, so they should be happy about that. So welcome everyone. Hope you're having a great day today, or you had a great day today. I hope your weekend was phenomenal. We are getting started on our newest show tonight. And we're going to be talking about masculinity. All right. If you've seen our ad, then that's what we're going to be focused on tonight. Again, if you don't know, this week is the last week we will be focusing on our Instagram. We will be fully migrated to YouTube starting next Tuesday. So if you haven't already, we know that some of you have. We've seen that people have gone over, subscribed. We greatly appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, please take the moment right now. Go over to CMCT _show on YouTube and click subscribe. So that way you're able to keep up with us, because we're going to be doing some great things over there on YouTube for sure.
Because we're leaving y'all on Instagram.
Yeah, but you'll be able to maybe still catch us on CMCT _show on Instagram. So if you haven't added that, you make sure that you add that tonight, because, you know, of course, tonight we're going over our topic of the week, and then we will be going over pop culture on Thursday, which I'm pretty sure is going to be a lot of craziness happening between here and there.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Set yourself up for success by going on over to YouTube.
Yeah.
Clicking in the search bar, typing in CMCT _show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, subscribe, share, and turn on the notification bell, because that's what they say on YouTube.
Yes. And so all of our shows are listed there. If you've been following us for a while, then you know that all of our shows are listed over there.
Except for episode 2, because I ain't ripped it from Instagram yet.
It's all good. It's all good. I mean, hell, we haven't even gotten on some of the radio platforms and podcast platforms yet. So all that's going to happen soon.
I think 50 is a good number to
get
on that with.
So congratulations to us, guys. If you catch us on Thursday, you will be a part of our 50th show. 50 shows, man. And we haven't thrown any blows at each other. We get along very well, which is counterintuitive to what the world wants from black men nowadays.
Yeah, they want us to hate each other.
They want a Chris Rock and Will Smith situation.
Or they either want us to hate each other, or they want us to kiss each other. You know what I'm saying?
I have no attraction to this man.
Hey, it ain't gonna happen. Not like that, baby. Sorry.
If anything, we do throw punches at each other, though.
Yeah. That's a form of love.
It's training. It's training. Yeah, we do.
My brother.
We work techniques. He's put pain on me. I put pain on him, and it's all applicable science in regards to hand-to-hand combat.
Science is a good word, and we don't mean that in an ambiguous manner. Actual science.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you for joining us tonight, guys. Keep coming in. We appreciate you being a part of what we got going on. We're very big on educating people in regards to what they may not know, or just having a conversation about what's going on in the world in regards to some of these topics.
Offering perspective.
That's all we are doing, and we look forward to you giving us your perspective as well. We always want you to join in with us, to write into the DM us and send us messages. You know, let us know exactly what your thoughts are. We've been getting a lot of people throughout the week. Sometimes I know I get people who hit me up and say, hey, you know, I disagreed with you, or I disagreed with Antonio. That's not right. Or people who say, thank you for giving me a different perspective. Shout out to Joan Moulton. Shout out to Claudia. These are our two favorite contributors, and also to Lady Muse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but Mexican Eric.
Mexican Eric.
Last week was on it, boy.
Look, he came in and took the title belt. It is what it is.
He gave us a good time last
Yes,
week,
he did.
man. You know, you can always tell when a listener is starting to get that momentum. They coming with them. They don't slow down.
Hitting you with the hot ones.
Yeah, first time ever it was Farley. He was hitting, you know, and then later Muse. She had a couple of weeks where she was just going in, and then last week, you know, Mexican Eric, man, he was doing big. So we appreciate you guys on any contribution that you give us. So speaking of contributions, this is the last week for you guys to get those raffle tickets in for the safe. We will be announcing the winner for the safe. You got it, Joan, and I'll be seeing you soon. We will be giving the winner of the safe next week. So if you haven't migrated over to YouTube and you've donated and got some raffle tickets, make sure you have the YouTube channel down so that way you can see if you're the one who's going to win the safe. For all the people who have been participating, we're greatly flattered and we're greatly appreciative of you. We want somebody to go home with that safe. So make sure next week you are listening on YouTube. Monday, we will be raffling off the safe, and we will get it to you within 2 weeks' time.
And we absolutely will not be shipping that safe overseas.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. You know, some of you guys, you know, make sure that your address, you know,
give us a U.S. address.
Is a U.S. address, but most of them have been. So, you know, if not all of them, I haven't seen one that was international. But just in case you move between here,
make sure you program it with us properly.
Between here and next week, man.
We greatly appreciate that.
Because, you know, people are spastic and whimsical, man. It just,
absolutely.
You know, I moved on Saturday, so
it's like, we sending the safe to the Salvation Army. I'm sorry to tell you.
Thank you for your donation.
Yeah.
But if you are interested in supporting us in any way, you can support us through our Linktree. And you can also purchase, this is the last week to purchase. The cutoff would be...
Question.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. The cutoff will be this Thursday. You'll still be able to purchase raffle tickets all the way up until Sunday evening at 12 a.m. Pacific time. Okay. So you'll be able to do that. But we will be announcing on Monday who the winner of that safe is. So let's go to that. If you would like to know more about the safe, all right. Okay. This safe is the BS.
It's not just any safe.
It's the BST310H. It's an amazing safe. It's an awesome safe. You can't go wrong with just a small donation to have the opportunity to win this safe. And I'm going to read a little bit off about the safe. It is the EL310. It is a 2-hour fire-resistant home and document safe.
It's a perfect safe.
Yes, for those perfect people. The 2-hour fire resistance means that the internal temperature will reach up to 350 degrees if the safe is in a fire for 2 hours at 1,875 degree max external temperature. So just know that this safe will protect your items up to 1,875 degrees. It has easy programming. It takes 4 AA batteries external and will retain your code if batteries die or are changed out. So you want to be a part of the team that has a chance to get this safe. Definitely want to make that happen, guys. All right. Get in on our Linktree. If you go to Linktree and you do, we're here.
Go to Linktree, their website. It's not linktree.com. If you Google it, the Linktree website will pop up. They got a search bar at the very bottom of their homepage because they don't like people. And when you go all the way to the bottom, if you type in CMCT_show, our Linktree page will pop up. And right there at the very top, you will see the option to tip us or donate, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Because tips are types of wages, and we don't do wages here, nigga. You can donate to us for a particular amount of tickets, and your absolute chance to be entered into the raffle.
Yes. The more tickets you get, the more opportunities you get the chance to win.
You increase your Almost quoted the Detroit
Survivability.
the Detroit urban survival niggas was garbage.
Yeah,
My bad.
Trash, dude.
You increase your chances to win this perfect safe.
Yes. Yes, no doubt.
Yeah.
So if you want one ticket, it's just $5. If you get 3 tickets, $10. For 7 tickets, it's $20. For $50 for 20 tickets, and for 50 tickets, $100. You can click on any one of those. Make sure you give us your address. Make sure you give us your name and your info, and we will let you know on Monday if you're the one that got this safe, man. Tuesday. We will let you know on Tuesday. So, so let me get that correct. So, we will be taking people who are looking for tickets all the way up to Monday.
So Monday.
Monday at 12 a.m. East Pacific Standard Time. Okay? All right, guys. So, let's get into what we're talking about today. It's going to be a very interesting show. It's going to be somewhat divisive, I guess, for some people, because people have their viewpoint, their point of view. They have
their delusions.
I didn't say that. He said that. Yeah, delusions of misconception or grandeur.
Delusions of phantasm.
Damn.
All right.
Okay. What does it mean to be masculine? What is masculinity? Because I firmly believe there is an attack on masculinity.
Absolutely.
Overall, not just in the black community. I mean, the black community, we are suffering, but I think that
it's a world agenda.
It is a world agenda, okay, in regards to the New World Order and what they want, in regards to dealing with the divine feminine, the divine tranny.
Divine is such a strong word.
But that's what it is, though. The divine feminine. Making it to where people venerate feminism or ambiguity.
We're chameleons.
Yes.
Venerate feminism.
Yes. So, as we always do, we're going to start with the definition. What is masculinity? Okay? It's not about what we feel. It's about what we know.
Put me in, coach. Let's see.
You ain't never left, man.
Educate y'all niggas. Masculinity. Oh, let me put that on YouTube real quick. Sorry if you're not on YouTube, you don't get to see our beautiful visuals.
Yeah.
However, you'll hear my, what's a good word for my voice?
Booming voice.
Sure.
Booming. Crying out in the wind. Crying out in the wild. Crying it out,
My war cry. Masculinity.
Masculinity.
Qualities or attributes regarded as characteristics of men or boys. Let me read that again.
Mm-hmm.
I know we live in this world where what it is to be a man, a woman, can be a bit ambiguous or serendipitous.
Mm-hmm.
They made this entire thing serendipitous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just using words.
Whimsical.
Today. Yeah, absolutely. Throw all of the words in the
pot.
Lay. Masculinity, qualities or attributes regarded as characteristic of men or boys. Now, what is a man or a boy, you might say, or ask? Well, let's see what Wikipedia says. Masculinity, also called manhood or manliness, is a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles associated with men and boys. Masculinity can be theoretically understood as socially constructed. Here we go with the bullshit. Can be, well, you know what? Actually, that was a great choice of words. It can be theoretically understood.
Right.
Which is not a thing, which means
that's
diluted.
Not factual, yes.
It sounds like it just means diluted.
Right.
Theoretically
understood. Yeah.
As socially constructed, and there's also evidence that some behaviors considered masculine are influenced by both cultural factors and biological factors. To what extent masculinity is biologically or socially influenced is subject to debate. Today it is.
Yes, it is. Right.
We're going to go ahead and cap that off here today. Don't worry about it. Where we at? It is distinct from the definition, oh boy, of the biological male sex as anyone can exhibit masculine traits. Standards of masculinity vary across different cultures and historical periods.
All right, already we got people chiming in. Pachanda says, to me, and I love this. That's why I love you, Pachanda. I'll say that publicly. To me, masculinity is the divine nature of a man to protect, provide, and lead for himself, family, and community. God damn, I love you, Pachanda.
Thank you, Pachanda. Talk that shit.
Listen, yo, she's probably one of the strongest supporters of black men. We need more like her. But yeah.
No, I definitely appreciate that. Go. I appreciate your position on that.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Real quick, we got Eric.
Okay.
We got a joke and an actual.
Uh-oh.
Man is someone who doesn't spend money on OnlyFans. I'll agree with that. And next, the irony is that feminism has required masculinity to push their agenda.
Wow.
And we'll get into that.
Wow. Yo, Mexican Eric?
That's my boy.
Mexican Eric going in tonight already. Thank you. Yeah, no doubt, Pachanda. I love you more, baby. Yeah, that's what's up. Our listeners are already going in.
Absolutely.
If you got an opposing view, please go ahead, chime in. Chime in. Go ahead and chime in.
Otherwise.
Joe Moten said, hey, my brothers, I'm having
issues with YouTube live chat. However, it's coming in.
Yeah, it's coming in. It's not, sweetie. Yeah, so they're already going in. So yeah, no doubt, this is going to be an interesting show. Let's keep moving with it, brother.
Back to Google Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
So, standards of manliness or masculinity vary across different cultures, subcultures, ethnic groups, and historical periods. Traits traditionally viewed as masculine in Western society include strength, courage, independence, leadership, and assertiveness. Why was that only in Western society? Are they going to hit on Eastern society? Because it doesn't look like it. No, they didn't.
Well,
we'll see. When women's labor participation increased, there were men who felt less comfortable in their masculinity because it was increasingly difficult for them to reconfirm their status as the breadwinner.
That's some bullshit somebody wrote.
Insane. Yeah. We're going to have to get up off of Wikipedia. But we're not biased.
Yeah.
So we're going to read it.
Yeah.
Because really, it's giving us fuel to go down the list that we already have prepared.
Absolutely.
So, really quick, the academic study of masculinity received increased attention during the late 1980s and early 1990s, with the number of courses on the subject in the United States rising from 30 to over 300. This has sparked investigation of the intersection of masculinity with concepts from other fields, such as the social construction of gender difference, prevalent in a number of philosophical and sociological theories. I would argue that is mostly sociological, not philosophical.
Of course.
Because philosophers are not fucking maniacs. Not in that manner, at least. People, regardless of biological sex, may exhibit masculine traits and behaviors. Those exhibiting both masculine and feminine characteristics are considered androgynous.
No.
That is not what androgyny is. But let's continue. And feminist philosophers have argued that gender ambiguity may blur gender classification.
See,
boy, oh boy, we are
digging in something deep, man.
So you know what? We don't have time to go through this entire page.
Right.
This motherfucker is long.
Right. Wow.
You want to bounce off of this or start here?
Yeah, no, I think we definitely need to do a little bit of both because it's a lot that was spoken in that. And already we know that our audience has a general understanding of what they feel. Because remember, our job is to help you guys, if you have a perspective, to either change that perspective or adopt a new perspective that we're giving you.
Or just to add on to it. Absolutely. So what is happening here? What is happening here? Well, we already see that the rhetoric, which will and listen, that says, and what does it say? For the book by Harvey Mansfield. Okay. So manliness and masculine redirect here for the book by Harvey Mansfield. It's a book that was based on manliness and masculinity. Scott, what's going on, brother? How you doing? All right. Why is it important that we at least get some sense of understanding of a definition when it comes to masculinity? What do you think? In general, it is important to be absolutely definitive before you even begin to explore or establish a viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand fully and definitively, which means by definition, what it is that you'll be speaking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, Wikipedia has finally betrayed us. Some crazy feminist motherfucker that went on here with the shit. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to them, I guess, because they're really helping us. But if we go by the white man's dictionary, if we go by the dictionary's definition, it says qualities or attributes regarded as characteristic of men or boys.
Very simple.
Okay? That's pretty fucking straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have, they usually throw up Merriam-Webster on there. They didn't throw it up there. I'll type it in. Had an extra I in there. Really quick. The quality or nature of the male sex, the quality, state, or degree of being masculine or manly. There's masculine definition. Of course, they linked us over to that. Considered to be characteristic of men. Again, masculine. Considered to be characteristic of men.
Mm-hmm.
Marked by or having qualities, features, etc., traditionally associated with men.
Mm-hmm.
Of, relating to, or being a man or boy. Also, of relating to or intended for men or boys. Mm-hmm. Of, relating to, or constituting the gender that ordinarily includes most words or grammatical forms referring to males, as well as other words and forms either systematically or arbitrarily in the same category. Being a stressed and usually additional final syllable after the final, okay, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's dealing with poetry. So,
yeah, I think that's pretty fucking straightforward.
Yeah, and it doesn't change. You notice
No,
that,
it doesn't.
Right? It's consistent. And I think that's the problem with a lot of things, that people are not realizing that things are becoming inconsistent because it's based on people's preference of what they feel the words should mean.
Worse than that, everyone has their own definition
mm-hmm.
of words.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch a lot of these podcasts and publications, and maybe there's a panel or even just a discourse between two people,
mm-hmm.
the issue is, the thing that we see more often than not today is, well, what is your definition of that word?
Right. How do you feel?
How do you feel about
mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm.
What's your definition
mm-hmm.
of masculine?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is insanity.
Yeah.
It's maniacal.
Mm-hmm.
There is some sense of, oh boy,
definitives.
Yeah, I'm really about to start digging in my word bank today, because these kind of things really upset me.
Well, why does it upset you? What do you think?
Upsets me because in a world where I had to be a man at 14,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
There was no room for how I felt,
mm-hmm.
for how I defined words,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for how I defined what was going on in the system and what it is that I had to do to be where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
There was no room for how I felt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I could only be definitive.
Mm-hmm.
I could only be direct. I could only be consistent. There's no room for, well,
deflection or,
everybody else. And,
mm-hmm. It's not fair.
Well, sometimes I feel
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was not an option. Okay.
When it comes to, for you single moms out there or women out there, you're looking to understand how to better prepare your son. If you have a son who's not confused on who he is and he knows
right.
that he's a boy and he wants to be a man in the future, if you want to prepare them, you have to have that understanding of knowing that there are differences between young boys and young girls, and your way of how you got to prepare them. For young boys, it's always a level of responsibility. We get that sense of that very, very early on.
Absolutely.
And that's how you launch them. You launch them into helping them to, teaching them to clean after themselves, clean themselves, doing the things that they may need to do for themselves that they're not going to have until they get married, maybe, or until they meet a woman who'd be willing to do that position. That's great. Teach them to boil an egg, cook some breakfast or something. Great. Clean up after themselves.
Absolutely. Basic human skills.
Yes.
Taking care of, maintaining yourself.
But in regards to, if you're looking for things, because, the first thing that they always want to do is, I want to find a man that's going to, be a mentor to my son. That's great. That's great. But there are tools that you can give them as being a single mother, which the number one thing I believe, just like you were saying, you said 13?
14.
14. For me, it was 9. Just the understanding of, all right, I need to get out and provide and find a way to take care of things and not sit and cry or bitch and moan about it. Right. And I think that's where people get it confused, because it becomes this argument of, well, this color is not masculine. This color, we'll get to that. But the main essence, if you're dealing with a 9-year-old, if you have an 8-year-old son and you want to teach him, okay, the steps to being a man, the number one thing is responsibility. The number one thing is focus, is discipline. And that's why I've always been very big on get your son in a martial art class.
Routine and solution.
Because sports have died. Now every kid, every young boy, every young girl gets a medal. They all get an award. Everybody comes number one.
There's no actual hierarchy.
Yeah.
Which denotes value.
It does, which is another thing that you teach a young man.
Young man must understand value so that he may understand what it is, who it is, and how it is he should protect it. Has to.
So, Pachanda, everything you had said was right on point. It was right on point. But anyway, like I said, martial arts at a very early age, we went to that boxing event, and that little toddler, it was a toddler in the ring doing movement in the ring. Toddler, he still was in a diaper. He was still in a diaper.
He had a little bit of lack of focus, which is understandable.
He's a little boy. Yeah, he's toddler.
However, the amount of focus that he did have, it shows the strength of man, the capability of man, right? When you don't have that, when you don't have respect for that, when you don't know that exists, that that's a possibility, it damages your entire community. There is no unity. There's no corroboration. No one in the community can come together in the accord that they should. Because that should be our entire community. Not necessarily a toddler in the ring throwing jabs and doing the work. It would be cool, but it doesn't have to be that specifically.
No.
But we all have a place.
Yeah.
And we're living in a world where man doesn't necessarily have the authority to guide their young men, much less offer viable solution and direction to the young women or even their own spouses and partners.
The word masculinity has become demonized. It's being hijacked. And it is being returned and reclassified.
That is good timing then. So, shout out to you.
Hey, Alex.
I'm still pretty disciplined, so I'm gonna call you Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chambliss says, do you all feel, come on now, you all feel the definition is shaped also based on upbringing, an example, 2-parent households, single-parent homes, etc.?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it shouldn't be, but it is, unfortunately.
Well, that's where I won't even say, it gets disillusioned.
Yes.
Right?
I agree.
Based on the environment that you're brought up in. Okay? and that's an issue. Because, again, we get into that place, and I don't have to make this up. This is observable reality. I'm going to call that to attention very often. It is observable reality that without the men at the helm, look at our community.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are we?
Absolutely.
What are we right now?
Yeah. Yeah, Alex, I'm gonna get you in real quick. Yeah, and that's what's going on. It's a lot of that happening in regards to people's perception of what they think a man is or shouldn't be. And that's the drama that we're going through. Well, a man shouldn't be this, a man should be that. And we'll get into toxic masculinity. You know what? This is going to have to be a two-parter. I already see it.
Yeah, no, facts.
Yeah.
I agree.
Alex, we're bringing you in right now.
I'll get to yours in a second, and then, but you know, it's respect. It's respect.
What's up, man? Look at you.
What's going on, brother?
Good to see you, Alex. How you feeling? Well, you're a father, so you know you have more at stake than the man that's out there, working on his own and doing what's best for himself. You're a father and a husband. You have a family. What are your thoughts in that in regards to the masculinity concept of the construct of what the world is looking to bring to it today compared to what you've been? Was your dad around? Were you raised with a single parent household or dual parent? Okay. Okay. Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 Wow. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I'll tell you one of the driving factors that I had a lot as growing up. My first martial art instructor, shout out to Dyron Jackson, was Muslim. He was a Muslim man, so he's very big on focus. He was very big on discipline, and so he was a married man with a child, and so he was very big on imparting that onto us. So most of the men that I met were very big on community. And I see there's a lack of that in a lot of young brothers nowadays, whether they're married or not. And so I push that a lot, primarily because I understand that that's one of the driving factors. That was one of the continuing things that black men had to achieve in regards to being a man. That was something that I saw men do care about their community, care about their family, care about the next brother, care about, you know, that's something that I think is a driving force in masculinity that I think is overlooked nowadays. It's every man for himself now. You know what I mean? You know, or you know, I care about you if you're on top. If you're not on top, I don't care about you. And it's like, that's not real. That's not real. So with that, real quick, let's, before we end this out, your thoughts on the difference between Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. You should have known I was going to get you on that.
Listen.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
30 seconds.
Mhm. Black Panther. Okay. All right. We love you, Alex. We thank you for your time, for coming in and chiming in your opinion, brother. Thank you so much. All right. So,
Funny.
let me see.
So we got Eric, Mexican Eric.
Mexican Eric, let's go. What he said.
Says, I didn't have a father. I had to learn by telling myself I need to do the opposite of what he did. And I think I'm a great father and show my sons how to be a man, or at showing my sons how to be a man.
Facts, and I think Eric, I think that's what Alex was kind of saying, that he had a dad, but his dad wasn't really there.
Yeah.
But Alex is the epitome of what his dad wasn't.
Yeah, he's astute enough to ask the question and say, well, what else did I need?
Yeah,
what didn't I get?
But you know what? I see that a lot in young fathers nowadays. Like, you know, I talk about my god brother and a lot of other men that I know that didn't have dads. They are more than what their dads were, or if they did have dads, they're more than what their dad was. They pride themselves on knowing that they're going to be more than that. With that being said, real quick, let's get into toxic masculinity, because there's something that I don't think a lot of people know about toxic masculinity. That buzzword, that bullshit phrase, which, you know, if you know anything about masculinity, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity.
Well, the number one thing is, how is there toxic masculinity, but there's no toxic femininity?
Yeah, right. Okay.
That's number one.
Well, you know, that's called...
You can't have one without the other.
That's called no accountability.
Well, no, that's just called the agenda in general.
Well, we know that.
They introduced toxic masculinity to us, but they never ever defined or introduced toxic femininity.
Right, and I don't think people ever took the time to look it up and see who created the term.
Well, let's see.
We are about to expose to you guys something that you've used phrase-wise and didn't know who it was that developed it, who it was that coined it, and where it came from, and who it was.
Find out. Hold on, YouTube. Pulling you up to the browser. Let's see. This is something I did not even know.
Mm-hmm.
What is toxic masculinity and why does it matter? Coined in late 20th century's men's movements, toxic masculinity spread to therapeutic and social policy settings in the early 21st century. Since 2013, feminists began attributing misogyny, homophobia, and men's violence to toxic masculinity. Around the same time, feminism enjoyed renewed popularization. While some feminist scholars use the concept, it is often left underdefined. I argue that talk of toxic masculinity provides an intriguing window into gender politics in any given context. However, feminists should not adopt toxic masculinity as an analytical concept. I consider the term's origins, history, and usage, arguing that it appears in individualizing discourses that have historically targeted marginalized men. Thus, Accusations of toxic masculinity often work to maintain gender hierarchies and individualize responsibility for gender inequalities to certain bad men.
Right. And so anything can become toxic in regards to masculinity if you disagree with it. That's pretty much the summation of it. Correct. I just want to expose to you guys who coined the term and where it came from. Because once you understand that, then you will know right here the person's name, Shepherd Bliss. Shepherd Bliss. Let's look this person up. Okay. There was actually two persons. Shepherd Bliss was one of them.
Did they take that out? That's
okay.
Stupid.
Shepherd Bliss was one of the people. All right. And
the strange looking white man.
once you read who he was,
they not have a Wikipedia page?
You can his name it showed up. While he's doing that, Pichanda said, as a single mother of a boy who is now a young man, and he's an awesome young man, Pichanda, I've worked hard to instill in him what it means to be responsible, discipline, and how decisions he makes and how the decisions he makes today will affect the rest of his life. That's all you can do as a mom. That's the main thing. Mm-hmm.
So there's no particular Wikipedia page on this dude because usually that's what they do, just like Soros, right?
Well, you see where it says toxic masculinity came from men's activists,
not feminism? That's Reddit.
Shepherd Bliss. Well, they got information on him. Shepherd Bliss, who invented the term
We can read the mythopoetic men's
yes.
movement, right? So before we even begin to read, because this person has definitely written a lot, it was a gay white man.
There you go. That's what I wanted to get to.
And a not regular, but a white man. Two white men, basically.
An angry white man.
Yeah, one gay, one angry, that coined the term years ago.
There you go. And that's kind of what we're exposing to you guys. Hey, Daff, what's up, baby? You know, when you understand the people behind a lot of these movements, then you understand their thought processes. So even here, they're talking about it, man. Yeah. They're going in deep. Reddit will go in deep sometimes. Yeah. You know, these guys had a reason why they wanted that term to be coined. Because, see, with the homosexual movement into things, they can hijack certain things.
Absolutely.
So if feminists are quick to use toxic masculinity as a means of, this man is off, he's toxic.
It's
this man, it's an attack. And so the homosexual movement is using it as well. Okay? You know, and that's part of that. And so that word shouldn't even be existing. You know what I mean? Because if a guy is an idiot and he's abusive, it's not so much that he's toxic. He's more mentally off balance. And you can't, you know, it's like the things that people are saying toxic. If a man looks at a woman with lust, all of a sudden that's toxic.
Yeah, it's not natural.
Right.
And that makes sense.
And so we have a show coming up next week where we were talking about dating and what's going on with dating. And what the problem is, you know. A lot of men don't even want to talk to women now because they don't want to be coined toxic in their masculinity. You know what I mean? They don't even want to deal with that. And so women are looking for compliments. They're walking out about, they're taking all that time, dress themselves up, look a certain way.
No, haven't you? They said they don't do that for us. They do that for themselves.
Right.
You got to pay attention. So, really quick, toxic masculinity came from men's activists, not feminism. Toxic masculinity is often tossed around as an example of harmful or misguided feminist theory, commonly in a distorted, misinterpreted form by MRAs. What the fuck are MRAs? Oh, men's rights activists.
Activists?
Okay. I was recently even told that the term is an insidious propaganda technique attempting to falsely associate men with negativity. In debating the issue, I've started to research the term's history with rather interesting results.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I don't need his intro. Have been developed. Okay. Most surprising, the phrase doesn't appear to have been developed as feminist theory. Rather, early sources that I found using it, dating from the early to mid-90s, are all associated with men's movements and literature attempting to help men and boys overcome negative cultural issues.
I have a problem when a man terms another man something that makes that man look in a bad light.
I agree.
I have a serious problem with that.
That's not what men do.
No, not at all.
We correct one another.
Yes.
We guide one another.
Yes.
We better one another.
Yes.
Steel sharpens steel.
Yes,
right?
that's
or
right.
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. Yes, sir. That's right.
That are negative cultural issues. For example, social psychologist Frank S. Pittman's book, Man Enough, Fathers, Sons, and the Search for Masculinity, 1993, suggests that toxic masculinity may be the result of an absent father. This isn't part of a feminist critique of patriarchy or anything of the sort. It's a male-centered exploration of how our culture is failing boys and what we might do to improve upon it. That's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
A good deal of the early discussion of toxic masculinity comes from the mythopoetic men's movement. The MMM wasn't explicitly anti-feminist, but it was reacting against what it saw as negative consequences of, among other things, second-wave feminism, or at least negative issues brought to light by it. Fearing the feminists' emphasis on women's voices and problems was muting the voices of men, and that men were without a positive, ritual way of developing and celebrating masculinity, the MMM saw men as emasculated and in crisis. To the MMM, the current state of Western culture was preventing men from realizing a positive masculinity. This resulted in a harmful, distorted, competitive, and aggressive hypermasculinity. Shepard Bliss, who invented the term mythopoetic, men's movement, also seems responsible for the term toxic masculinity. Shepard contrasts this toxic masculinity to what he calls deep masculinity, a more cooperative, positive form of masculinity which he seeks to recover. He lays this out at some length in response to pro-feminist criticisms of the MMM in the edited volume, The Politics of Manhood. Pro-feminist men respond to the mythopoetic men's movements, 1995.
Sounds like a very confused man.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. To try, or his attempt to piggyback and redefine what it was that they were doing, instead of, these are the issues we're having, let's all focus on this.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Of course. And usually basing it, usually when people write these books and stuff, they base a lot of what they're going through on their past experiences with their parents and with their family. And
Absolutely.
They've never experienced positive influence. So, you know, if I'm angry and I'm mad and, you know, I got a divorce and I'm sick of women, I write an angry book, and there's everybody that's angry that's gonna like that book.
Gonna read the book.
They'll show up at the writing.
The equivalent of the right YouTube channel today.
Yeah, Red Pill or you know, pro-feminism, and everybody bands together on what they can relate with, rather than having critical thinking, which now is all of a sudden a buzzword, critical thinking. You know, back in the day when we used to say think critically,
it meant have some fucking common sense.
That's all it meant. But now critical thinking, everybody's a critical thinker, which they really aren't, because if you got to tell somebody critical thinking, you're in the snake's den talking to people that not paying attention to you anyway.
If you're regurgitating information, for the sole purpose of being arbitrary or
to be right,
contrarian,
they want to be right.
What is your actual purpose? Are you a rebel without a cause? Did you just want to be heard for no particular reason?
Daph, let me get to your question in a second. Go ahead. Yeah.
Toxic masculinity was a term invented by men's activists, but not men's right activists, to help address problems facing men that weren't explicitly being tackled by feminists. Obviously, the term has been appropriated by feminists and is often employed within feminist theoretical frameworks, but let's maybe at least stop saying that it was created as feminist propaganda to denigrate men. Finally, an open question to all who have a problem with the term toxic masculinity, either in some specific usages or in general: is it possible to salvage the original positive intent of this term as a tool for helping men to overcome articulations of masculinity which harm them? And if so, what needs to be done to make that happen?
No,
That's a beautiful question.
The word needs to be destroyed. It needs to not exist, because there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's Daphne, right into what you're asking. What's a fuck boy and what's a nigga? The difference between the two. A fuck boy is what they would think of. But I mean, you know, for that level of that understanding, that's a fuck boy is really what toxic masculinity would really be. So in essence, take out the word masculinity, because masculinity is a more mature term, right? So if I'm sitting into my masculinity as a man, if I'm a man, I'm not a boy. But we say a boy is what's masculine, the traits of a boy, but that boy's traits would eventually turn into a man. So a fuck boy is a boy, even in Ebonics or in urban terms, who not responsible, ain't about shit, looking to get over on somebody, male or female, doesn't matter. That's what women in the hood would understand as a fuck boy. Nigga is just a term.
I disagree with that this way. A fuck boy, for a lot of these women, are men that they thought they could change.
Interesting.
Okay.
So I don't disagree with you on that. I just think that was a different approach. But go ahead, keep going.
Much like with many other things concerning women's decision-making process, they don't think about the consequences before involving themselves.
So then they find out who he is.
They already knew who he was.
Okay.
They just thought they could change him.
Yeah,
They thought that he would change for her.
Yeah, right.
She thought that she could potentially control him. Maybe he'll be different for me because I'm me. There's a bit of ego and arrogance associated with that as well. And is it the way that opportunists work? Is it either of the opportunist's fault when they cross paths? Because the quote unquote fuck boy, easy pussy. If we're being honest about it, maybe sometimes easy money.
Yeah, of course, right? Opportunity, yeah.
Because she's thinking she's the one he's going to change for, right? She hasn't vetted him. She knows exactly what he's into. He's made it clear that he's not serious, and she still pursues him, right? She is looking for an opportunity. She's being an opportunist because maybe he's a drug dealer. Maybe he's got money. You know, maybe they're flashy together and they can go and whatever the fuck they're doing. Maybe she getting free weed. For some bitches, that's enough, right? They're both opportunists taking advantage of one another, and one cries wolf.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's a good clarity. Does that make sense, Daph? Because
and that's putting the blame on both. Is my point.
And your thoughts on nigga.
Nigga, man, come on.
Just the phrase, right?
I'm a nigga.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's just the phrase.
We're all niggas because we don't own anything in America.
Well, rappers used to say it's a term of endearment. So
a nigga is too ambiguous. How about that?
Are you talking about N-I-G-G-A or N-I-G-G-E-R?
So as not to waste too much time on the term. Nigga is very open-ended right now. We just don't call each other nigger because this ain't the 60s and we ain't fresh out of slavery.
Like that one teacher. I didn't call you nigger.
Well,
I called you nigga.
Before it was nigga, it was nigger.
Of course it was.
Niggas was fresh out of slavery calling each other nigger.
Yeah.
If you read some of like some of the Donald Goines books and Iceberg Slim's books, instead of them spelling nigga, they
spelled it all out. Absolutely.
That's what they were. That's how they spoke to each other.
Yeah. And the more correct term of it back in the 60s and 70s was Negro.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But in the hood, in the hood, it was it was always nigger or nigga. Nigga became more popular in the 70s and the 80s. Somebody had something they said that was part. Yeah. So hopefully that helps, Daph. The difference between a fuck boy and a nigga. Stay away from the fuck boys. If you can peg them, you know them.
You know exactly what they are. I won't bring experience, age, or anything into it. But women know when they're dealing with an irresponsible man. It's very clear. But they're looking for fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Women are thrill seekers.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It's only toxic when the man that's looking at them isn't good looking in their eyes, and a fuck boy just wants a part of the cookie without buying the bakery. Mexican Eric, everyone.
Mexican Eric is on it. Pachanda said, toxic masculinity is an attempt at shaming masculine men for having and upholding strong belief systems and life principles. Unfortunately, many have fallen for this way of thinking.
Absolutely.
She's calling it.
I mean, she very quickly summed up all of what we just read.
Yeah. Pachanda, put in the comments. Please put in a link to your films because Pachanda makes a lot of films dealing with these subject matters. So definitely want people to get to know who you are because you're speaking truth tonight. All right, so we are knocking down the understanding of masculinity, and we've got some things on the table. Let's get more to this time. This month, these past couple of weeks that's been stuff going on. I love when I go on Instagram or social media and stuff. I love seeing people go back and forth. Love it.
Yeah, I agree.
Love it. And there's always
you get to see where the world's mind is.
Oh yeah, because you have your thoughts, you have your framework of your thinking and your perspective, but to see people go back and forth, especially those that don't know. You know what I mean? They're not in the know. I always look at you as a person, you're in the know. You did your research, you don't know something, you go and you look it up, so you're constantly in the know. If you guys understand what I mean by that, if you're not sure about something, all it takes is a couple of minutes to go and dig something up, and you'll have the truth. You'll have the beginning, you'll have the middle, and you'll have where it's headed.
Yeah, I'm not just devouring what I'm being force-fed through media, Facebook, all of these different things.
Right. It's a lot of clickbait out there, and there's a lot of articles where people just see the headline and they get infuriated. Or they see something and they go, well, why can't? Why can't? That's always it. Why can't? Let that person live. Not understanding that people who are of prominence, people who have influence, affect the way people think. Sure. Propaganda is very real. We talked about that in one of our very early shows.
Propaganda and news are equivalent.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's important that you understand what the powers that be have in store for you as a sheep. They consider you a sheep. So,
they can make you sway any which way.
Animal Farms, a very good book to read if you never read it, guys out there. It's a very good book to read. Thank you, Pachanda. Who's in the news right now?
Who's in the news?
Who's
currently
in the news?
I would say number one right now is Chris Rock.
Okay. But before we get to him,
even before Chris Rock, because I think it's a good premise to begin with. Is where's your boy?
Right there, boom, there we go. We're about to talk about this brother here. If you don't know who he is,
they know who he is. He's the sexiest man alive. Was that
well, no, it's Michael B. Jordan. We talked about him recently, but
whoever they chose.
Right now, this brother here, I just put the picture up for you guys to see. And if you don't know who he is, then I applaud you, because that means you don't pay attention to news or social media.
That means you don't have time to waste.
And you're somebody I need to get to know, because I'm pretty sure you're making serious money because you focused on stuff that ain't got nothing to do with what everybody else got going on.
Shit that actually matters.
Yeah. But anyway, this brother's in the news, man, a lot. He had a Marvel film drop. Good picture, man. If you're on YouTube, you can see the whole photo shoot. Now listen, I ain't gonna lie, as a man, hey, I ain't knocking the hustle. The brother looks brolic as hell.
Yeah, sure.
He looks phenomenal.
Fit. Very fit.
But I've done my research in regards to Jonathan Majors, and I went way back to the beginning, and I'm not gonna blast him too hard, but you gotta go see his first movie. He was in Yale, and Yale has a program where you cannot work until you finish and graduate. That's their program. But they made an exception for him. They made an exception.
For the film industry?
Yes, for him. He got offered a role called When We Rise.
Okay.
And if you know anything about this film, it was a six.
I didn't get that one, did I?
No, I sent you the other one. Hold on, let me send you that one.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you know anything about Yale, the Yale program, it is not something where you can just up and leave for work. They won't allow it. They will not allow it. So you have to stay and do the work, and then afterwards they'll send it to you. They'll send you the work, right? But Jonathan, before he even finished Yale, got to get out and do this job. and it was called When We Rise. You can go look it up. You can go look it up on YouTube and see the role that he played. The reason why I'm bringing this role up is because you never hear them talk about it. Everybody talks about the San Francisco film that he did, and they talk about the San Francisco film he did, and they talk about Lovecraft, and they talk about the Western. They never talk about When We Rise. They never talk about it. But I'm not going to say too much about it. But go watch. You don't have to watch the film because I didn't want to watch the film. But just go look it up and see the role that he played, so you'll have more understanding of how this guy is coming into prominence very quickly. Okay. If you're on YouTube, there's a photo with him with the roses, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's the Valentine's Ebony magazine. That's the Valentine's shoot." And this is what everybody's been talking about, because in some of these pictures, the color scheme was pink and red, pink, red, and white. Okay, black and red and white. If you know anything about these colors, yeah, thank you, Pachanda. If you know anything about these color schemes, then you know something. If you know he's wearing in the one where he's laying there to the side, all brolic looking, but he's got on a rosary. It's funny that they use that. So basically,
a blood red rosary.
A blood red rosary. So basically, he's portraying Cupid. He's portraying Cupid. Okay, and it says Jonathan Majors, Hollywood's Most Wanted. All right, and mind you, his rise has been, over a period of time. And then he's got one photo. This is the photo here that everybody was talking about, really, really wild. Like, the fact that he's sitting there with the pink, the pink coat and the onesie outfit. His fashion coordinator for the shoot is a Nigerian guy who came up with the designs for all of this stuff. And everybody was like, "Oh, he's an anime fan," and then they go and they look at the anime character that they say is based on this look. This look is based on that anime character. But when you look at the photo, he's got his finger pointing to his temple, and then he's got the duck lips, and
which not even close to as menacing as the aforementioned character.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say who it is.
Right. Absolutely. And then he got this little other takeoff where the roses are wrapped around. If you know anything about esoteric religions and hermeneutic religions and stuff like that, when you go way back, a lot of this stuff you can go and see. And then he's got the one with the one eye closed, one eye open, and he's got the pink. All his photo shoots have symbolism behind it. And then of course this photo here that you're looking at right now, where this is not art. This is based on something. We're going to show you something in a second, but it's not art. There's a reason why. You know what? I never took the chance to go in deep and see what the books were. Can you do that real quick?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Maybe able to zoom in.
There you are. And they're upside down. Wow, look at that.
One is
Dreaming of Palestine. Eddie in between. Huh. Oh, Edie in between. And what's the one on his lap? The library book. So now we got to see the symbol on the side of the spine of the book down there? Yeah. Now we have to go and look up these books, because these books mean something. You have to understand, when you see these photos, a lot of people are just thinking, "Oh, it's just he's just doing a color and color scheme. There's nothing behind it. Pink is a good color." And let me tell you something, pink, if you know anything about pink, go and do your history lessons with World War II in regards to how Hitler and the Nazis dealt with homosexuals in regards to what they put on their the uniforms of the Jewish people who were homosexual in concentration camps. It was a pink triangle. So the rainbow wasn't always the symbol of the LGBT. It was a pink triangle. So do your history, do your work. So when people talk about pink, and there's something you wanted to say about pink as well in regards to
we'll talk about that.
Um, the whole color scheme. He was portraying the
Magic,
wow.
embracing the mystical.
Is that what that's about?
I mean, in quick, we don't have time to read entire summaries or nothing.
And look at the front cover of the. It's a tarot card. Wow.
We'd have to actually find out which.
Well, it's the love card because the love tarot card. It's that's what it is.
Cover her past to save her future. Either way, let's not
wow.
Let's not go off on a tangent.
Interesting.
Let's go back to you.
Very interesting.
The main reason why I closed it. The main reason why I wanted to bring up Jonathan Majors is because, like you said, people get in these comments and they say a lot of stuff, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
The main thing that I saw across multiple social media platforms and news outlets and their different comment sections is, well, what is a man?
Mm-hmm.
Title of today's show, what is a man?
Mm-hmm.
How can you really even define a man?
Mm-hmm.
The same bullshit they tried to do with who's the lady, the governor here, or whatever the fuck she was.
Stacey Abrams.
There you go, that chick.
Mm-hmm.
But what is a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're down to the point where we don't know what a man is and we don't know what a woman is.
Mm-hmm. Mass confusion.
Pink is not just, it's not indicative of anything feminine. Nothing to do with women. There's no male dominant colors.
Mm-hmm.
None of all of that stuff is, you guys are living in the past. You're crazy. This is why men don't hug each other and all of this crazy shit, right? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something. There's a reason why even today, all of these naysayers and everyone pretending that we have no idea what any of these things are, yet you go to a baby shower and they do a gender reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they still using pink and blue?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that so prominent?
And why are the reaction of the parents so big?
Yeah.
Male or female, doesn't matter. Or the families.
Yeah, when they get a girl or a boy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you can't, you can't misgender a child at birth these days. You don't get to tell the child what they are until they grow up and they decide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about the things that are being said, the questions that are being asked, the different scenarios that are being posed and, contorted for the purpose of whomever, whatever. And what is that purpose? Why must everything be so curious and confusing? Is no one else asking these questions?
Mm-hmm.
What is a man?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are we that lost? Is it that, disillusioned?
Mm-hmm. Are we that far removed?
What is a man?
Mm-hmm.
The same being that you want in your household at 3 a.m. when there's a crash or what do they call it? A crack in the night or some shit like that.
Sound, yeah.
Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You hear something downstairs. Most of you women don't even have weapons to defend yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
The world is that soft on you, which is not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. That's the way men have made the world for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's quite arrogant to ignore that. Quite arrogant not to acknowledge that. But in the event something like that happens, in the event that you get your purse snatched,
mm-hmm.
in the event that someone pushes you on the ground or disrespects or harms or threatens you and your child out on the town, who do you look to?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you look to? Most women Because I know the pattern today is to go ahead and call out the exceptions. Well, I was a marksman in the military. Well, guess what, bitch? You're not everybody.
Mm-hmm. You're the exception to the rule.
Majority of women are living this life free of concerns that are not self-inflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Self-inflicted because you have the choice to decide not to be feminine.
Mm-hmm.
You have the choice not to decide to go through your father and your mother to help vet a man who's worthy of building with you. That's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I always bring this up. There are women right now who say, you know what? Learn how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
So, take care of the house and potentially maybe go to school and do my own thing, you know, online, become an entrepreneur, whatever the fuck. And I have to be nice to him and be peaceful. Fuck that. I'm enlist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to enlist. Fuck the natural order of things. And you can go and look at some of them silly ass posters, because I remember them. When women were joining the Army and Army Air Corps and all of that shit, go and look at some of those ridiculous propaganda posters.
Yeah, they did a feminine version of Uncle Sam Needs You. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, I was just about to say. Insane. That's what you choose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But I'm saying understand that that's a choice that you have in this world that's supposed to be so against you.
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to be terrorizing you, pillaging you, raping you, because I don't think we can say that on YouTube without issues. The world is doing so many of these different awful things to you. And instead of you saying, well,
we need the whole man.
I need a man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I need a man to be a fucking man to get this right. Help me get this right. Help me get to a place where I can be
the woman that you...
the woman that I need to be, not only for him,
but for herself.
But for myself, for my spirit, for my balance.
Which is what they want.
That's say they want it.
Yeah, they say they want it.
But instead of me doing that,
I'm going to compete with them.
Nigga, I'm going to enlist. Fuck that. I'm going to become a truck driver. I want to be in an 18-wheeler on the road.
I want to work by the road.
Nigga, I want to go work at a warehouse and
push rivets into steel.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Fuck that. Let me go work in the coal mines.
And do some labor.
Imagine the 1960s, the 50s, the 40s. Women saying, yeah, you know, this at home shit is cool. But nigga, put me down in the coal mine. Fuck that. Send me to the coal mine. Let me go get buried and get black lung and all of this crazy shit. I'm not saying that all of what men have done has been, you know, selfless or completely beneficial to the entire planet, to the world. But it's created the world that is so full of luxury and that is so lackadaisical. You could choose to be anything that you want.
So in essence, to sum up what because you're saying, what is a man?
What is a man? A man is who created that reality for you. Women did not do that.
Right, of course.
I know it hurts to hear that.
Well, it hurts if you're not satisfied with the natural order of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I don't want to do anything that a woman does. I have no desire.
I don't want to sit and talk on the phone for fucking hours. I don't want to go and Hoes of Atlanta on TV and all that. I don't enjoy shopping. Bullshit.
I really don't.
Nigga, I don't want to go and do all of that.
I'll go to one store and that's it.
I don't want to cry on a movie and call all my friends and we talk about it and let's go do brunch and mimosas.
Let's get our nails done.
All of this stupid shit. I don't want to do none of that shit.
Right. Spend a whole month on the birthday.
No. I went and got a pedicure a couple weeks ago. I cut my own nails because I just cut them down. Whatever.
No, I've seen you do it.
I need them to take care of my shit because I do karate. Whatever. I'm getting ready to leave. I'm about to pay. You want a manicure? And I looked at them like, no, hell no, I don't. Cause they don't want to, they always ask, can they paint your nails and all of that bullshit. I was like, nigga, no. And there was an older black lady in there and she laughed.
She laughed at them or she laughed at you? She
laughed at me. She said, he meant that. He meant that shit.
So that was laughter and appreciation.
Yes.
Okay.
Appreciation because she don't see men every fucking day.
Real men.
Not in today's world.
Right.
It's okay to take care of yourself. But don't go
overboard.
Painted, bro.
Yeah, don't go overboard.
They laugh every fucking time. Any shop I've ever been to, they laugh. Hell no, I don't want no color. You sure? Well, some. No, I'm not some men. I'm a man.
And people, listen, it's very important that you understand that proclaiming yourself as a man is not a level of arrogance. It's a level of confidence in knowing who you are.
I'm very prideful in having been groomed by a man. And he had his faults too. Don't get it twisted. No man is perfect, no woman is perfect. But one thing that this man did do to this day, and rarely will you hear me in casual conversation call him my stepdad, but I want you guys to know that he's my stepfather. And he came into my life at 1 year old. Wasn't even one yet, to be exact. And he decided that I would be his son. That was 29 years ago. To this day, he calls. I call. You've seen, you know what I'm saying, me and him speaking on video chat, and I'm showing him the work we did around here because he taught me that. He made this,
possible.
This was not for most people wouldn't be. It was an easy task, but it wasn't. It's a daunting task for most.
Of course, because there's a level of discipline, there's a level of integrity, there's a level of focus that's employed.
The focus, the creativity, the ingenuity, nigga. The way I'm in here, I was dicing these one, I can only thank my dad for that. I'm not saying that I would have never been able to do something like that on my own, but he made me this way.
Let me ask you a question. Women, I've seen many times women say they have to do the work or the jobs because the men don't want to do it.
Do what?
You know what I mean?
Do what?
And that's a very strong question because, and I'm talking about you asking that question of do what, because I don't even think women realize that a lot of the things that they feel they have to do, they really don't have to do.
Well, I'm going to say this, and this is no smut on my mother. Don't get it twisted. But there have been a few times, and I don't remember when, but in the last few years or so, very often she would say, I had to be both. And she definitely played her role as best she could. I'll never take that from her.
Yeah, I think a lot of women, especially single mothers, would be quick to say that.
Yeah, there because he wasn't always there. But he was great in what he did do. And even to this day. And then in retrospect, we won't get into the politics of it all, but men and women hate each other sometimes in a long relationship. Especially when kids and finances are involved and all of these things. They're supposed to have blow-ups, whatever. That's normal. That's human. But very, very few times, or a couple times, my mom said she had to do it all. She had to be the mom and the dad.
Yeah, which isn't true.
And when I was younger, I would just listen to her say that. And in my head, I'm saying, Mr. Weaver, Ron, he was the security guard. I never knew his last name, but he was in his Islamic brother who was Air Force for 20-something years. Came and was the security guard at the school. Mr. Bill, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Valdez, speaking of different teachers throughout my life who who saw me as a young man and said, this dude is worth putting something in. Why don't you come join this program? You know what? You're an artist. Draw our logo for the BSU up here at the school. You know, giving me these opportunities to contribute to something greater than myself, to understand, understand focus, keep me in a place of discipline, to guide me towards something different than what a lot of those young men, you know, my constituents at the time were getting into. They gave me those opportunities. My mom, they never met my mother. Met my father. But those were good, strong men. Not even to mention the men, you know, my family members. We haven't even talked about them. But a lot of women think that it's them who have made these young men
what they are.
What they are. Young men without fully consistent, or even in just a period maybe where the father is absent for whatever reason, you look to other men.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
whether that be cartoon, you know, I have a lot of my morals actually.
Right.
I'm proud to say this from the character Goku.
Well, you hear me say it all the time that hip hop was a lot of young men's father.
Yeah.
They learned how to dress.
A lot of that was my, you know.
Well, yeah, they learn how to dress. They learn how to interact with women. They learn how to do a lot of the things that they do because of women. I mean, because of hip hop, and you know, you you know, women supported hip hop just as much as men. So when women get upset,
hip hop wouldn't exist without women.
Right, of course. When women get upset about what they consider men to be in regards to toxic, you know, you were a part of that. No, you know, when they always talk about, well, you know, there's a lot of misogyny in hip hop stuff.
Could never have existed without women.
None of that stuff could. No music video where women are sexy and looking a certain way on air. None of that could exist unless women allowed themselves to do
the
it.
Tootsie Roll?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah.
That was the original like tip drill.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I know, you know what I'm saying. You know.
The audience, you know. So listen, we've had Jonathan up for a reason, guys. It's not just we're showing you the pink and, you know, we're talking about the pink. You know, this photo, when we talk about programming and people who are assigned to do certain things, you guys have got to start asking more questions. Stop jumping on the bandwagon. Stop feeling like these people are your friends. Stop making these people your gods. Stop making them, you know, stop making them your all in all, because I've seen a lot of people like, man, I love him and he's just everything. And I'm asking, do you guys know that there's a purpose behind this photo? That there's a reason why this guy is seated like that. So everybody loved that Ebony magazine, you know, release, but they didn't.
We didn't even have it on there.
Yeah, go to the next. There you go. Boom. And yeah, there you go. And so when you that was it. Yeah. Well, no, you just got to click back and forth so that our YouTube seers can see it. You know, when you look at this guy and what he's doing in that photo, and most people are like, "Oh no, that's just by coincidence." That's a serious damn coincidence. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
That's a serious damn coincidence. I mean, look at that. You know, that's just, I don't know, guys. I don't know, but they're saying he's the next Denzel, and he's out there helping your young boys and all your people believe that pink is the color. You know,
Denzel is a very tall order.
I know, but that's what they coined that today. He's the next Denzel. He's this century's Denzel. He's this generation's Denzel.
Cool.
But you know,
I won't even get it.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Look at, you know, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look.
We'll have another show where we go in depth.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know anything about the Baphomet or the Baphomet,
familiar symbols on here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know. Anyway, I just wanted y'all to see that. You know, I have no hatred towards the brother. I do enjoy some of his performances, but when it comes to people being led astray because of propaganda. I have an issue with that. And all of the people that were arguing that was on the team of, well, pink is a good color. There's nothing wrong with pink. And let that man live. They don't realize that that man has been.
It's not a man's job to perpetuate any feminine qualities, practices of any sort. And it's not a woman's job to facilitate, perpetuate any type of masculine behaviors.
Yeah.
It is not your job. It is not your main duty. Not what you were put here for. That's not what we were put here for.
Right.
You know, never was, never will be. Okay?
So,
men and women complement one another.
Yes, we'll go into that.
COMPLENT.
Yes.
Complement one another. Okay? Let's get you the definition of compliment. So they have a simple. It's nice, but it's not. Compliment. COMPLEMENT. A thing that completes or brings to perfection. The libretto proved a perfect complement to the music.
Mm-hmm.
A number or quantity of something, especially that required to make a group complete. At the moment, we have a full complement of staff.
Mm-hmm.
Verb, add to something in a way that enhances or improves it. Make perfect.
Mm-hmm.
A classic blazer complements a look that's stylish, casual.
Mm-hmm.
Men and women complement one another.
Mm-hmm.
We're not companions. We're not partners.
Mm-hmm.
We're not tag team champions. You know what I'm saying?
Because we think different and we
Yin
navigate
and yang.
differently. Yes.
We balance one another
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And we're good at it
If
when
you play
everyone
your
is
roles.
playing their fucking part.
Mm-hmm.
Gender roles are not this made up thing. It's observable reality.
Mm.
Go and watch it in nature. And yes, some of you maniacs out there can give me examples of a weird seahorse or some fucking bug or some goofy bullshit like that. But guess what? They're in the minority in all of nature.
Mm-hmm.
Even plants have male and female.
Mm-hmm.
Plants, all the way down to plants, male and female genomes. Okay? And that is all right.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's no gay plant out there. You know what I'm saying? They don't have transsexual oranges. You don't have to tell a peach seed when you plant it, all right, you better not grow no damn apple tree. You grow a peach tree, and then you come back in a year and it's a fucking pear tree. Has not happened.
Won't happen.
Will not happen.
And if it does, that's the end of the world.
Nigga, don't count on it. A peach seed grows a peach tree.
Mm-hmm.
An apple seed
Grows
grows
an
an apple tree. It bears the fruit of a fucking apple.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else, nothing in this world other than ridiculous humans can make it do anything different.
Mm-hmm. And the last show we had, we were talking about non-binary and binary,
Yeah.
and we mentioned what was the word? Not androgynous.
Cis?
No, yeah, cisgender,
hermaphrodite?
hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
Right. So, hermaphrodite, for you guys who are a little confused on that, because I actually, just to get ready for the show, wanted to do more clarity on it, is a person that's, intersex. That's what the word was. Intersex.
Intersex and hermaphrodite
Yes.
are supposed to be
Right.
interchangeable.
Right.
Now.
And it's not true. A hermaphrodite is a person that's born with both genders.
And shout out Pacific Sunrise, my cousins, Cousin Lee out there doing his thing.
No
man.
doubt.
Shout out to y'all. Thank you for the shirts.
Yes. A person that is a hermaphrodite, has both sexes. Both sexes.
A vagina
And a penis.
And a penis.
Yes. And usually what that's from is because there should have been twins, but it didn't happen.
It's a birth defect.
Yes.
And guess what? It is in the minority.
Yes. Very, very small minority.
What is a defect? An abnormality.
Mm-hmm.
How is it abnormal?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning it is not normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a consistent thing. Not something that you can theoretically reproduce at will.
Mm-hmm.
An occurrence that you can reproduce at will.
Mm-hmm.
Does not happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's not even, it's damn near not worth mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, there are some of you out there, and you know, you probably have your small, marginalized communities. Great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more power to you.
Mm-hmm.
But nigga, this bit of this much world cannot drive the decision making for the rest of the fucking population.
Right.
It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. It's unfair.
Mm-hmm.
It's unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't tactful.
Right. Right.
Not for survival.
Yeah.
Not for the continuation of the human race.
Yeah.
Not for the progression of our existence, of our infrastructure on this planet. How does it benefit us to focus on the few? It never has.
Right.
It never will, historically. So you guys aren't being singled out.
Mm-hmm.
You're also not being excluded.
Right.
There's shit here for everybody.
Of course.
But when you turn it into this thing
movements
and play victim,
yeah.
you know, you're victimists, professional fucking victims.
Mm-hmm.
You're masters at it. And then there are actual people, groups, SECTS, of this world that are struggle, that are trifed, dealing with who knows what. And no light gets shown on them because we're too busy playing the I identify as game. This is how I feel. We're playing that fucking game. Wasting resources. Wasting focus. Wasting manpower. On things that actually don't matter. Because guess what? Nobody cares what you do in your fucking bedroom, nigga, as long as it's not with a child.
That's right. Or an animal.
Or an animal. Nobody gives a fuck. It's none of our business. It doesn't benefit us to know that it makes you comfortable when you come outside, that we know that that's what you do. Because that is what it is. It doesn't benefit me to know that this nigga who clearly has linebacker shoulders, but is wearing a bra and whatever in the front,
4-inch heels.
You know what I'm saying?
4-inch heels.
It don't benefit me to know that you want to be a bitch. It doesn't benefit me to address you as such, because I never intended on addressing you in the first fucking place. You don't interest me. You're not that interesting. Most people are not that interesting.
That's right.
A majority of people on this planet are not that interesting. And just because a woman decided to wear boxers does not make her interesting. Just because a nigga decided to tuck and roll his shit, or whatever the fuck they do in the surgery, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make you interesting. It doesn't make you more important than anyone. You don't deserve subsidy. You deserve exactly what you earn.
Yeah.
And guess what? You guys haven't earned anything.
Yeah.
You didn't even create your own movement. You
hijacked
and hijacked several different civil rights focuses to the detriment of those groups, to include women as a whole, black people or ethnic people as a whole, and so forth. Even immigrants, I would say, have earned more than you guys have, because immigrants, they're kind of doing their thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They work.
Yeah.
They come here and they stimulate the economy. You guys are sending trannies to elementary schools to what the fuck is the word that they call it? To educate or awareness. These are cross-dressers. Make them aware, right? All of that kind of silly shit. That does not help the human race. It does not help men and women. It does not improve our dynamic in any way, shape, or form. To that, Dwayne Wade. And let me tell you something, because I noticed this while I was looking this nigga up earlier, because I never cared about him.
Mm-hmm.
You see how this fool's name is spelled?
Mm-hmm.
The Y is before the A.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't, I'm a nitpicker sometimes. But nigga, D-W-Y-A-N-E. I could have swore it used to be D-E-W-A-Y-N-E.
Yeah.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I might be. But it's a little more, delusion and nonsensical trash. Any event.
This is the thing. The question is why is it so pertinent that they push Zaya?
Great question. And they're actually going to answer it in the article.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're ready for that, because it's going to get interesting. This nigga shaved his legs and everything. Ready? Dwayne Wade, D-W-Y-A-N-E, Gabrielle Union's daughter.
Wow.
Oh, that's supposed to be and.
In a sense, but
that's not how commas work.
Well, Zaya.
Well, technically, actually, I guess that's the descriptor. So fair enough. They're technically adjectives in this case. Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union's daughter, Zaya.
She's not his. She's not her. Well,
they're married, I guess.
Yeah, but she.
Who's
listen,
the husband? Who's the wife?
The kid still has a mother.
Look,
you know what I mean? An actual mother that's still alive and still in the life of that child.
Listen, baby, I don't make the rules. I've never made the rules. Dwayne Wade, her teeth are beautiful. Gabrielle Union's daughter, Zaya, makes runway debut in Paris. She's going to be a supermodel. Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union's daughter, Zaya, 15, made her runway debut during Paris Fashion Week, Tuesday, strutting her stuff at Miu Miu's. Is that what that
Miu
is?
Miu's.
Miu Miu's Fall-Winter 2023 show. Zaya modeled an oversized olive green knit blazer styled with a matching sweater and pencil skirt, carrying a brown leather bag, and sporting matching patent slingback heels. The major catwalk moment comes after Zaya, who came out as transgender in February 2020, was granted an official name and gender change on February 24th. We're going to have to look at that. Her proud parents sat front row at the show to support their daughter, along with the family's stylist, Thomas Christos Kikis. The fuck is up with these names, nigga? Nah, this is wild. This nigga's 50. Look at these big ass. Come on, dog. This nigga already got basketball player feet. And yeah, there's gonna be people out there. You picking on a kid, and aren't they picking on a child?
Yeah, I mean they.
Aren't they exploiting a child?
Zaya went to their first LGBTQ pride parade at the age of, I think that was 12, 11.
Isn't that for adults?
11 or 12. Well, they have a lot of kids in that stuff now.
It's
insane. Horrible. It is. It's horrible.
That's fucking insane. Yeah. And if you're a parent who advocates for,
he was 11, I think,
fosters and supports any of that silly bullshit, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I also think you should be in prison.
Yeah.
Much akin to R. Kelly.
Yeah. Because the stuff they expose those kids to at parades is horrible.
Insane, bro.
I mean, people have sex at those parades in Plainview.
We used to get our asses whooped for having access to porn.
Mm-hmm. Watching pixelated HBO.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We used to get our asses beat for that.
Uh-huh.
It's not for you yet.
Right.
You're a child.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in a child's place.
Yeah. There's a reason for that.
Parental controls were in place on television. That's all we didn't have internet and shit like that yet. Well, at least not access like that, right? Either way, they used to make children be children. Children were allowed to be children. Now,
they can be whatever they want.
Olive green sweater. Our girl, Zaya Wade, made her runway debut. We all cried. I'm crying too. The front row was full of Zaya's biggest fans. I'm not crying, you are. Wade, ever the doting dad, captioned on Instagram's story of his daughter walking the runway. Men. What is a man?
Mm-hmm.
Does a man encourage child, his young boy who hasn't even gone through puberty yet?
Brain development. The critical thinking is not even part of their thinking.
Nigga ain't been to a school dance. Cause 12 is not, you ain't even graduated 6th grade yet. Ain't even been to your first dance. Kiki's also shared an Instagram post about Zaya, writing that he had tears in my eyes. I don't want another adult. Look at how many adults, grown humans,
over this one child,
are involved with this development. Committed to it. Committed to this program. With this child. You have to get a permit, typically around 15 and 16. And up until the age of 18, you have to have a clean driving record to obtain your license. Elsewise, you have to completely retest in most states. Some states don't even have permits. You got to be 18 to buy cigarettes.
Liquor.
To buy weed in the states where it's legal now, you got to be 21. I believe some of them might be around 25, if I'm not mistaken. Alcohol, 21. 17 and a half. To go to the military, a parent or guardian figure has to sign off for you to join.
16 to get a job.
And you still need parental what? Approval.
Permission, that's right.
And permission. If there are school trips in high school, the senior trip, even some of the dances,
parents got to sign off.
Your parent has to sign off. If they don't have enough chaperones for these dances, they will cancel them. However, 12 years old, I've decided. My dad supports me. My mom supports me. The family hairstylist supports me. All of Paris supports me. Why? Why is this so important? You have to excuse me because I'm genuinely
confused on that.
Genuinely fucking confused. I'm genuinely upset. And if you don't understand my anger, well, there's going to be a part 2. Because this doesn't make sense to me. I teach young men and young women. Now, I'm a man. I can't teach a young lady everything that she needs to be a young woman. But I can tell her, hey, we had a girl out there the other day with a skirt. And her mom had her skirt too short. Hey, Dr. Willis, can we get this young lady some pants? Or, hey, you won't be kicking today.
Gotta be some modesty.
Not under these fucking conditions. Have some respect for yourself. Have some respect for this institution that you're a part of. Have some respect for your family that you come from, even if they don't respect you. I didn't say that because that's not my place.
Of course.
But it is my place to say, hey, this is my class and I won't allow that. Because I have respect for her.
But
I have respect for our people.
But that's a masculine trait.
Yes, it is.
See?
I'm protecting our community. I'm protecting our community. A man is protecting the reputation of our community because it's important. It matters. You don't let our children go out and be uncouth. You don't allow them to be fucking delinquents and vagabonds. You offer them order and discipline. These kids are not walking up and trying to play with me when I show up to teach them. And they're not afraid of me. Let's not get it twisted. They respect me because I hold them to a higher standard. I treat them as they can be, not as they are.
And what they will be.
What they will be. How has that been lost on our community? Regardless of whatever the fuck adults are going through. We don't have enough discipline to understand how our children need us for their development.
And I will say that, unfortunately, the black community is always chasing the white community and other communities in regards to what they got going on, their validation. Yeah, absolutely. Again, Kiki's also shared an Instagram post about Zaya, writing that he had tears in my eyes. The celebrity stylist thanked the former Heat player for his endless trust in his vision, and Zaya for showing me what it means to believe in yourself. Brother, let me tell you something.
Yeah, nigga, first of all, please. And I'm not saying that you can't be inspired by children. They should inspire you and motivate you to give them the best that you have. To point them in the direction of someone, somewhere, a group, a program that can help elevate them beyond what you're capable of. If you've plateaued. Go ahead.
Zaya for showing me what it means to believe in yourself. When you see something like that, celebrity stylist, how far did you get before you started believing in yourself? You had to be into yourself in order to get as far as you got. But anyway, I regress.
You're a contracted stylist or hired stylist by two very wealthy people.
How does that even happen? Thank you for centering her wants and needs always, the NBA alum responded. Her wants and needs. That's a problem with that. Her wants and needs. You're supposed to take care of a child's needs. Care less about their wants.
What are their needs? Shelter, protection,
guidance,
food, discipline, education.
And discipline requires the word no a lot.
Yes, it does.
Go ahead, brother.
This nigga damn near taller than... Is he taller than her? He is.
And never forget, guys, you guys who are paying attention and learning, the color black symbolizes Saturn worship and death. You're dealing with Saturn.
At least
and
legally, it does.
Yeah. But they're Saturnians. And if you need to learn anything about that, look it up and you'll understand a lot of those hermeneutic old religions are still around in Hollywood. So,
because baby, we only got 2 hours. We can't tell you everything in one sitting.
Yeah.
All right. The family celebrated her debut outside of the show. On Twitter, supporters applauded Zaya's catwalk debut, with one person writing, "Miu Miu is the only brand that does stunt casting celebrities walking correctly." Zaya wasn't the only famous face or Nepo baby. What the fuck is Nepo?
Nepotistic. No,
Get
Nepo.
the fuck out
You're
of
right.
here.
Nepotistic.
Yeah, I get it. On the Miu Miu runway, the high schooler was joined by actress Mia Goth, the Crown star Emma Corrin, and musician Ethel Cain, along with Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin's model daughter Amelia Gray Hamlin. Are these weird kids?
They're all celebrities. Yeah, well, no. They're just celebrity.
They're regular kids.
Yeah.
Nigga, fuck out of here, bro. I'm telling you right now, I don't give a fuck what nobody say, nigga. I have kids. Please. Please. You'll be fucking exhausted, hoping to see that my kid is on some fucking fiddle faddle shit, nigga, because it's not gonna happen. will never happen. The former NBA player congratulated his daughter after the show. The basketball superstar shares Zaya with ex-wife, Jesus.
Siobhan Fuchs.
Mm-hmm. God damn, why do black people do this? Siobhan Funches.
Fuchs.
Oh, Fuchs?
Fuchs.
With the N?
Mm-hmm. Fuchs.
Oh, is she French?
I don't know.
Listen, nigga. The former couple has been embroiled in a legal battle involving the teen. Wade wants Zaya to live more comfortably and honestly in all aspects of her life, while his ex accused him of pressuring their child to move forward the name and gender change in order to capitalize on financial opportunity.
Well, that's not the only thing that Siobhan wants.
No, but I understand.
She actually basically what it was she said, can we wait until 18?
I agree.
Yeah, if she wants to at that
there has
age,
to be a thing.
Yeah, let's wait until age 18, and they wanted it now. Him and
what do they want? Like why?
Yeah, well,
somebody tell me why, please. Somebody tell me why.
Zaya represents the divine feminine. You know, the whole. There's, like I said, guys, there's a lot of old religious stuff that's involved in this stuff. You know.
I can't believe this nigga's name is spelled. I don't know why it bothers me so much. It fucking does. I'm gonna speed through this one because we got about 4 minutes. Dwayne Wade's trans daughter Zaya granted legal name, gender change. This just happened on the 23rd. This clown ass nigga, bro.
And there's, he puts more attention on that one than the rest of his family. He's got other kids,
Dwayne Wade's transgender daughter, 15-year-old Zaya, has been granted an official name and gender change. He's 15. You can't even drive yet, nigga. You can't even drive yet. You can't go buy a vape pen with regular flavors. You can't go to a hookah bar.
In bad taste, yeah. Lady Muse said, I don't think a step parent should be speaking on Zaya like that in bad taste. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I don't think Gabrielle should have any say so.
She should have zero say so.
Especially
as far
the
as
mother.
That's concerned,
Yeah, the mother's
extreme.
still around. Yeah, the mom's still around. That's if anything, being a step parent, she should agree with what the mom says.
My mom did.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that community next episode, but it's a happy day in the Wade household as Dwayne's transgender daughter Zaya has been granted an official name and gender change. On Friday, a Los Angeles County judge signed off on the new legal identity for the 15-year-old, TMZ reported, after her proud father first petitioned the court in August 2022. Why did he? The teenager is now legally female. Legally female. Legally female. Do y'all get that? Legally female. A legal distinction. Do you understand? Pick a word. The insanity. Keep it simple. A legal female as opposed to an illegal female?
It's illegal now to misgender her. I mean, you get to the next part, it's very confusing. This is where it's always confusing.
The teenager is now legally female, and her full legal name is Zaya Malachi Aramis Wade. Zaya, whom Dwayne shares with ex-wife Siobhan Funch.
We have to go back to that because it's a female, but she's got two male names. No. Malachi and Aramis are male names.
Malachi is ambiguous. Didn't you know that? I know some females named Malachi.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It's ambiguous.
I know.
Everything is ambiguous.
I know.
Except for legal distinctions of gender.
Right.
Or whatever they classify being female as, because it might not even be a gender.
When you guys get a chance, look up the Aramis name and understand the background of Aramis, and that's why you'll know why that name is in there. But go ahead.
Yep. Zaya, whom Dwayne shares with ex-wife Siobhan Fuchs. came out as trans in February 2020. The retired NBA star and Fuchs, who divorced in 2010 after 8 years of marriage, had differing opinions on how to handle the matter. The athlete 41 has consistently advocated for Zaya's right to live more comfortably and honestly in all aspects of her life, while Fuchs, also 41, has accused her ex of pressuring their child to move forward with a name and gender change in order to capitalize on financial opportunities. Dwayne called the claims nonsensical. That's insane. Gaslighting anyone? Dwayne called the claims nonsensical in a November 2022 filing, adding, while it certainly would have been preferable for Zaya's mother to be supportive of this important part of Zaya's journey, Zaya should not be forced to put her life on hold while she waits for Siobhan to acknowledge and accept her truth. That's crazy. Fucking crazy. We'll push it out maybe another 3 minutes? Sure. He went on to explain how the requested amendments to Zaya's identity would act in her best interest, from simple introductions and food orders to applying for a driver's license and filling out college applications. Anybody can pick other or any of that other shit, and it's not considered a lie on any of those documents anyway, because $5 Indian-ass white people been doing it for fucking centuries now. So what's the difference? But hey, I digress. I don't understand. I'm not trans. But Fuchs, who used her daughter's dead name, wow. Is that a thing now? A dead name? Of Zion in her opposition, claims she wanted Zaya to wait to make the changes herself when she turned 18. I'm very disappointed that Fuchs continuously finds ways of centering herself and her needs without regard to her children, the basketball player pinned on social media in response. That's insane, nigga. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? What the fuck is going on? If you're on YouTube, man, goddamn, the pictures just get more and more outrageous. All right? I wish some of my ancestors were still alive, because them niggas was worse than me. Goddamn, they'd rip this apart. This is ridiculous. This is a very outlandish picture. This picture is ghastly. All right? They got on the same sandals or some shit. I don't know. He called his ex, with whom he also shares 21-year-old son Zaire, an absent parent who allegedly did not reach out to Zaya's teachers, doctors, and therapists about her purported concerns. Claims Fuchs insisted were completely untrue. Dwayne went on to write that he and wife Gabrielle Union, who are parents to 4-year-old daughter Kavia, would never force Zaya or any of their children to do anything against their will, much less force an identity on them. Thank God they didn't force an identity on her or him, whatever. In his initial request, Dwayne noted he had full authority to proceed without Fuchs' consent, and he's had sole custody since 2011, but she had been told as a courtesy.
Oof.
That's crazy. As a courtesy.
So she wouldn't have a right if something mortally happened to her daughter or son or whatever.
She's not rich like Dwayne and Gabrielle.
He's basically saying she wouldn't have a right, but the court system would see otherwise.
Yep.
He couldn't pull the plug on Zaya without her permission.
No, he couldn't.
Without her agreement.
Well, this is the thing, though. She's trying to force an identity on their son or daughter, which is much, much, much more devastating than the nigga losing his life or whatever. Or his dick, I don't know.
But he killed it. He killed it. Remember?
Yeah, dead name.
Dead name.
That's right. He is also dad to 9-year-old son Xavier, whom he co-parents with Asia Matoyer. Well, I think all of these niggas are retarded. Except for maybe the mom. At least she said wait till the nigga's 18, man. Because this is crazy.
Later music, laughing out loud. Yeah, if you use a dead name, it's offensive.
Well, I'm offended.
So that's what they're looking to do. It's a dead name, so you're calling that person a dead name now.
You're being disrespectful.
The next thing is going to be they're going to push legislation. That's obvious.
You get sued or something at the very least.
Called me a dead name.
Emotional distress.
Yes.
Wow.
Called me, yeah. You called me a dead name. That name no longer means anything.
It's a slur.
It's a slur to me.
It'll be a slur. Dead names will be slurs. Isn't that interesting? Well, it's 9:59. Goddamn it.
We'll pick this up on
We're
Thursday
gonna
for sure.
pick this back up on Thursday, man.
Get back to our page.
Thank you, everybody who tuned in. Yeah, we appreciate y'all, man. Let me tell you what a man is. A man protects his fucking community. He defends his community. He defines his community.
A man pushes integrity. A man fixes his mistakes. A man enjoys being the provider for those that he loves and cares about.
Man provides space for his women and his children to thrive, to grow.
A man leads as an example. A man enjoys being that person to take people into a better place.
So that you all may lead our future. So, we'll come back to this Thursday. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
I'm exhausted.
I think I'm exhausted. Look, whether you commented or not, catch back up with you on Thursday.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Thursday. We'll be talking about the Will Smith and Chris Rock in full
we
depth.
didn't even get through our list.
That's fine. We'll get to it. But yeah, definitely. So pay attention to what's going on with that because it's just reignited stuff especially in the black community, the split that people feel we're on one side. People feel that Will Smith was justified in slapping the shit out of Chris Rock. And on the other side, people feel that, Will Smith should have went to prison and should have got sued. It was assault.
At the very least, he should have got sued.
So the fact that people are upset that Chris Rock is blasting the hell out of him on his show and making money by doing it.
Like he said he would. He said he wouldn't mention it until
he did a show.
Until he had the opportunity to do his next show. So
what's wrong with you guys in the black community? What's wrong with my black people, man? Y'all need to stop. Jada was never in any form of physical threat. He wasn't protecting her in that regard.
And at some point, she was a self-proclaimed comedian. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any event, y'all have a good night, man.
Good night, everybody.
For coming in.
No doubt.
We'll see y'all on Thursday. Muscles on his lonely back. I stay calm and fat. I've been on the grind so long, hoes could never call me that. Please keep it short. I don't speak for all the rap. I'm your mechanic. This shit is crazy.
It's exhausting. It really is.
I'ma melt you.
It really is.
Got a birthday. I just make it special.
You know?
If you came to wrestle.